Hello guys, welcome back to Car Obsession and welcome to another walk around. Also, welcome to a rather wet and gloomy Goodwood. It isn't very nice, is it? But what is nice is the car I've got this week, because it is the brand new Cupra Formentor. So as always, I will take you around the car, talk you through the specification and give you my first impressions. Now, if there's a bit of water on the lens, I can only apologise in advance. The rain is relatively heavy here. Anyway, you're not here for me to discuss the weather. You are here, of course, because you want to see all about this car. So, this is the brand new Cupra Formentor, as I mentioned a few moments ago. And unlike other models in the current Cupra range, this cannot be bought as a Seat. So the Cupra Leon can of course be bought as a more humdrum Seat, and the same goes to the Ateca. This car is exclusive to the Cupra brand and has been designed from the ground up, although of course it does share many parts from the Volkswagen Automotive group, which is by no means a bad thing or indeed an insult. Now, to look at from the front, it looks very similar to the Leon. And again, that is not a bad thing. So I think the Mark IV Leon is a very pretty thing to behold. Now, the Cupra Formentor can be had in a few different trim levels. The one I've got though is the spicy one, the VZ2, or if you're watching this in America, the VZ2, there we go. Are you happy now I've said Z and not Z? Anyway, that aside, this car would normally cost £39,870, but the car you see in front of you has got two options. The urban silver paintwork is an option which I believe is £550, and this also has the extended safety pack, which is £135. That gives you seatbelt tensioners, window closure and hazard lights. And obviously you may think, well, hazard lights come as standard, but I think it's when you're in an accident or when you need the hazards to come in automatically, I believe they do so. Now you may think, ooh, almost £40,000 for a brand that is a bit unidentified. That seems like a lot of money. Well, don't forget the Cupra name has been around for years. That was the name that was designated to Seat's sportiest models. I myself own a Mark II Leon Cupra. So this may be a new brand, but it isn't, if that makes sense. This is about the same money as a Golf R, a bit more than an Audi S3. I've got the Audi S3 this week, by the way. I will be doing a twin test with this, but you do get a lot standard on this car, which I will go through in due course. Yeah, I think this is a very smart looking car, very distinctive, very bold. Now, the urban silver paintwork, in my opinion, is a little bit boring, but if you want something a bit more discreet, something a bit more subtle, then this will suit you. As standard, you get 19-inch alloys, which I think look fantastic. You've got a kind of satin black detailing with silver tips on the spokes. Now, if you go for the VZ3 or Z3, if you're watching this in America, although I don't even think this car is available in the States, so soz. But anyway, if you go to the car above this, which is around £42,000 and a bit, you do actually get bronze detailing instead of silver, and you also get Brembo brakes as well. And that's pretty much it. In my opinion, I can't really see the justification for spending the extra, I think it's £2,370 to get the model above this, because all you get is Brembo brakes and different alloys, and I just think that is a little bit of a gimmick. But anyway, that aside, you get tinted rear windows, black roof rails. Of course, you get LED lights as well. At the back, you get not one, not two, but four exhausts. Very nice indeed. And unlike other cars in the Volkswagen Automotive Group range, these, to my knowledge, are not fake. So if I just take you with my little tripod, get you underneath the car. No, those tips look definitely real. Let me do that. Yeah, there we go. It's a nice bit of kit. They do sound pretty good as well. I will of course speak about the engine in due course, because that's one of the reasons why you're here. Let me take you inside the car. Keyless entry comes as standard, but the car is already unlocked. Now, I've had this car for almost a week, and I still can't make my mind up on the interior. It's finished in this petrol blue design, which is standard, And you've got the bronze stitching, because bronze, as you can probably tell, or copper, as Cupra call it, is very much part of the design language. We've also got copper detailing on the steering wheel and around the vents. Let me step inside, try not to drag too much mud into the car. Get out of this horrible rain. Yes, there's quite a lot of petrol blue in here, and I don't know. One thing I will say is it does make the inside feel special, distinctive, bold and unique, so that can only be a good thing. Let me take you off my little tripod once more, guys. Right, just gotta quickly see if the lens needs a wipe. No, the lens is okay actually, surprisingly. So I love these seats. They are a one-piece unit, so the headrest is integrated, and you've got the Cupra badge embossed on the headrest, and they are pretty stunning if you ask me. They are heated as well, as standard. It does look like they are ventilated because you've got the little perforations, but to my knowledge these aren't ventilated, but of course, as I've mentioned, they are heated. Speaking of heated elements, the steering wheel is also heated. You've got the button for it just on the right hand side when my camera wants to focus. Any time today, Canon. Wow, sorry guys. Oh, there we go, got there eventually. Now, I really like the steering wheel. You've got a kind of a faux carbon fibre effect. You've got a perforated leather. And, of course, you've got a flat bottom, which I'm a big fan of. What I'm not a fan of, though, is the amount of buttons on here. Just look at the sheer amount of different toggles, buttons and functionalities you've got on the steering wheel. I just think it looks too busy, especially compared to the Audi S3 I've got this week, which is a much more simpler, more classy affair. However, in the defence of Cupra, unlike some of the newer Volkswagens, these are physical buttons, whereas in the Volkswagens, these buttons are touch sensitive. So if you do a bit more palm steering, there is a chance you'll hit certain functions whilst you're driving or turning, which may be annoying, but that shouldn't be an issue in this because, of course, you've got buttons. Now, speaking of buttons, there are two buttons I do like on the steering wheel. The engine start-stop, which is mounted on the wheel, as you can see, which I think is fantastic. It makes you feel like you're stepping into something more exotic, like a supercar. A lot of cars nowadays, the start-stop button will be on the dash, or in the case of the S3, it's around here. But no, on the Cupra Formentor, it's on the steering wheel. I like that. It's like a Ferrari or like an Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. The other button I like is this, which has the Cupra logo, which I'm still not keen on, by the way. It looks like a kid designed it, but that aside, press this and you get your driving modes. In fact, let me actually turn on the ignition so I can show you the car in all of its glory. You get a digital cockpit, which is very nice to use, and you get a very large 12.3 inch touchscreen, which is beautiful to look at. Don't get me wrong, guys, I love the design, but it isn't the most intuitive to use. Like other cars in the Volkswagen Automotive Group range, it isn't the easiest to use on the move. And as much as I like the fact there's little clutter and there's very few buttons, everything is, well, apart from the steering wheel, everything is controlled through the touchscreen. So normally in a car with heated seats, you have a button somewhere down here or maybe even down here. No, in the Cupra Formentor, it's all done on a touchscreen, which, yeah, it makes it feel, you know, cutting edge, but when you're trying to operate these functions whilst driving, it can be a bit of a faff. The same goes for the climate control. Again, there's no physical controls, so if you want to turn up or turn down the fan speed, you have to do it through here. So air conditioning on, and you get the gist. Again, when you're driving, that can be a bit of a faff. Now, again, in the car's defence, there are ways around that fix. So, for example, hopefully this will work first time. What should I say? Turn on climate control. Give it a few moments.
Okay.
And it's done nothing. Okay, not a very good example, but what you can do, if I turn the air conditioning on, so for example, I'm cold.
No problem. It will get warmer at the front right shortly.
Or, for example, I'm hot.
Sure, it will get cooler at the front right shortly.
So there are ways around it when you're driving. I'm pretty sure you can also increase or decrease the fan speed, so bear with me. Increase fan speed.
Got it. Increasing blower power.
There we go. And let me just do that. So I've all steamed up in here. Someone probably thinks I'm up to no good in here. Anyway, I can spend a lot of time moaning about the touchscreen, but it is very pretty to look at, and you do get a lot of features. So I've got park assist as standard, which I think is very impressive. Of course, I've got navigation. I've got DAB radio, Bluetooth, smartphone connectivity, all that jazz. You've also got gesture control, so if I do that, you can see the little titles come up. You've also got a... Ooh, that bellow. You've also got a reversing camera and front and rear parking sensors, and as I mentioned, you've got park assist as well, which I'm yet to try out, but I will try to do so at some point this week, if I have time. Let's turn the engine off for the time being. We'll turn on the ignition so I can show you the different views on the digital cockpit. You've got quite a few actually. It's very customizable, and it is very pretty and sharp to look at. So I like that. I quite like that view because it's quite classic. But this next one's also quite cool. Where are we? There we go. Something about that just looks quite supercar to me. So I like that. Anyway, on to practicality. The door bins are of a decent size. I can fit in a medium-sized bottle, and I've got space left over for a few snacks for a road trip perhaps. Got a wireless phone charging pad that comes as standard. And you've got two USB Type-C charging ports. You've got a 12-volt socket in here as well. As you can see, you've got the armrest, which is adjustable, and there's storage underneath as well, which is pretty ample. Two cup holders in the middle. Two slots here, which, well, that one looks like it's designed for the key, because that's what the key is shaped like. Then you've got another one here. Perhaps you can pop some loose change in here, and of course you get a glove box, which offers a decent amount of space. You've also got a cubby just to the left hand side. Yeah, in regard to getting a comfortable driving position, that's just easy. The steering wheel adjusts for rake and reach like you would expect on a car of this price, and the driver's seat is electronically adjustable with not one, not two, but look at this, 3 memory functions, which may seem a bit overkill, but if you're sharing this in the family, that will come in handy. The passenger seat isn't electronically adjustable though, but that's not the end of the world, and I'm the driver, so it doesn't bother me. He said selfishly. Right, let me step into the back. I know the ignition is turned on. Well, look at rain, it's really coming down now. What a nasty day. Now, as always, the driver's seat has been set for me. I'm 6'2", so I am, of course, a taller chap. But as you can see, the space I've got left over looks to be pretty ample. Let me step in like so. Probably got to drag loads of dirty mud into the car, but a bit unavoidable. So, guys, look at that. I've got loads of knee room. And if I bring you guys to the side, you should see that I've got loads of legroom as well. So if you do happen to be a taller person in the Cupra Formentor, well, specifically in the back of the Cupra Formentor, don't worry, because you should have plenty of space. Now, headroom again. Sorry, let me bring you this side, guys. I know the lighting's a bit iffy, but I've got a good amount of headroom. So even if you're 6'4", maybe even 6'5", you should fit in the back with no real issues. I think fitting 3 adults in the back may be a bit of a squeeze, but 2 adults will be very comfortable in the back if you ask me. And of course, if you're more concerned about carrying children, there are ISOFIX points. Now, in regard to practicality, you've got a door bin in which you can fit another medium-sized bottle. I think this one is a litre. Yeah, that's a litre. The one in the front door bin is 750ml. You've got map pockets. You've also got an armrest with 3 cup holders, 2 regular sized ones, and one for an energy drink. Also a ski chute. So if you've got longer items, such as skis, you can... Oh, a bit stiff, you can feed longer items through. So if you want to go skiing, or perhaps you've been to B&Q or IKEA, you got yourself a nice flat pack and you want to load it into the car, you can do so. I don't think that's clicked back into place. Oh, it has. Okay, there's no audible click. You've also got 3-zone climate control, so those in the rear can make themselves hotter or cooler, which is nice. And not one, but 2 USB ports. Again, these are Type-C. More modern cars are moving in that direction. It's just more future-proof. And you've also got a few hooks in the back as well. So you've got 1, 2, and then 2 on the other side. Yeah, I'm very impressed with the rear space in the Cupra Formentor. You may find it a bit dingy in the back because you've got the dark roof lining, but I would say it feels just about airy enough in here. Although if you, I don't know if you can spec this with a panoramic roof. I would be very surprised if you can't, but I'm not too sure. Right, let me step out. And I can show you the boot. Now, as standard, you get a hands-free tailgate, which normally works first time. I must admit, as hands-free power tailgates go, this is probably the best I've used because it's very rare that it doesn't work first time. So Cupra, well done. Now, as always, the boot is filled with my filming crap, but I will cut to a clip where the boot is empty. Now, if you go for this model, which has, of course, got the 4-drive system, the boot is a little bit smaller. So you're looking at 420 litres as opposed to 450, which is what you get in the front-wheel drive version of the Formentor. But if you go for the eHybrid version, then the boot shrinks again to 345 litres. Now, I would tell you what the capacity is with the rear seats folded down, but believe it or not, no matter how hard I've tried to find that information, I cannot find it. So hopefully I can find the information out from Cupra after I film this video and dub in a nice handy subtitle. You've got a 12-volt socket in here, I believe. I could have sworn there's a 12-volt socket in here. I'd be very surprised if there isn't one. You know what? I think I'm going mad. I thought I saw a 12-volt socket in here, but I think I'm getting that confused with the Audi S3 because that's got a 12-volt socket in the back. But what the S3 doesn't have are these handy levers, so you can fold down the rear seats from the boot. That one won't go down because my camera slider is in the way, and it makes it very nice and easy. You've got 2 hooks either side where you can hang up shopping. The seats, let me go this way. The seats themselves don't fold completely flat, which may disappoint some, but I'd say that that's relatively flat. I wouldn't say the angle is too harsh, so no complaints there. Oh, a bit fiddly to do with one hand though, hang on. Sorry, I'm probably just showing you the carpet. Right, there we go. Up. Now, quite surprisingly, especially in this day and age, as standard, you do get a spare wheel, which is underneath the boot floor, which is a bit of a rarity. So if you're someone who still likes to carry around a spare wheel, then Cupra has you covered. Right, let's close the boot. Seamless. How it should be. Of course, it is time to speak about the engine. I've saved the best until last. You will need to bear with me because the bonnet is quite heavy, and unlike the S3, it doesn't have bonnet struts. So you have to, it's a bit old school, you have to use the bonnet support. Right, where's that going? It goes in there. I'm balancing the bonnet on my head. So, now, I know the engine cover looks very uninspiring. That could be anything under there. That could be a 1.2, just like more of an eco engine under there. But no, under there you have got something rather spicy. It is the Volkswagen Automotive Group's EA888 engine, which, if you're familiar with that code, you'll know it is used in cars such as the Audi S3, the Cupra Ateca, and the Golf R, to name but a few. Although the engine cover doesn't really give you much in the way of the indication of what this power has, let me tell you, this is a bit of a powerhouse. This has 310 horsepower, along with 400 newton meters of torque, which is 295 pound-feet, if you prefer the older measurement. It is mated to all 4 wheels using Cupra UK's, well, using Cupra's 4-drive system, and it has a 7-speed DSG. You can't have a manual for the VZ2. In regards to performance, It's pretty impressive. This will hit 62 miles per hour in 4.9 seconds, which, considering that this weighs a little bit over 1,600 kilograms, I think that's pretty impressive. The top speed, as you would guess, is limited to 155 miles per hour. Now, in regard to CO2, you're looking at about, well, it is 193 grams per kilometre, meaning for the first year of VED, sorry guys, that figure has just run away from me. I think it's £895 you pay for the first year of VED, but I may need to correct myself. In regard to MPG, you're looking on a combined run around 33, 34 MPG, which I think, considering the amount of power this has, is pretty respectable. On my drive up here, I think I got around 28 MPG, which, okay, isn't the greatest, but if you want fuel economy, go and buy a diesel. There's a good chance you're not really too fussed about fuel economy if you're looking at this car. Let's pop the bonnet down, because let's face it, that engine is pretty ugly to look at. Sorry, Cupra, but it is. Oh, my handle was slipped off then because the car's so wet. Yeah, there we have it, guys. The brand new Cupra Formentor. There is quite a lot to this car. It has got quite a lot of standard features, so there may be some things I've missed off. So if there is something you'd like to know about, drop me a comment. I'm more than happy to give you the information. There will of course be a full review coming as well, so be sure to look out for that. So if you're not subscribed, please do so and click the bell so you get notified every time I do make a video. I'll also be aiming to make a point of view video with this car as well, and there's also a twin test with the S3 coming. So lots of content coming with this car. Sadly, it isn't mine. This has been given to me for the week by Cupra. So a big thank you for Cupra UK for providing this car. So I've been waiting for ages to get my hands on this, so I'm very excited it is here. Yeah, I think it's time for me to finish. I haven't really got much more to say for the time being. So if you have enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a massive thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. If you aren't subscribed, please do so. If you are, don't forget to click the bell notification so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time, guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.